The Magic Kettle. In a quiet mountain village, nestled between tall trees and colorful meadows, there once lived an old man in a tiny wooden cabin. The walls of his home were lined with bamboo mats and sweet-smelling flower garlands that made the air inside feel like spring, even in the middle of winter. He lived a peaceful life, waking up with the sun and falling asleep to the sound of crickets and rustling leaves. One sunny morning, while cleaning the corner of his kitchen, the old man noticed something odd. Covered in dust and rust, there sat an iron teapot that he did not remember owning. It was heavy, dull, and forgotten, as if it had been sitting there for many years. Curious, he gently picked it up, wiped off the dust, and carried it to the sink. With care, he scrubbed it until the rust began to disappear, and its iron surface started to shine faintly in the morning light. He wondered where it had come from, but the answer didn't matter much. It was a teapot, after all. He filled it with fresh water and placed it over a fire to prepare some tea. As the water began to heat, something strange happened. The spout of the teapot wiggled and stretched until it looked like a nose. The handle curved into what resembled a tail, and the body began to grow tiny paws. In just a minute, right before the old man's eyes, the teapot transformed into a tanuki, a little Japanese raccoon dog. The tanuki hopped in place excitedly, its eyes wide and playful. It ran up the walls, bounced off the furniture, and tried to climb the wooden beams above, acting like a kitten who had never seen a home before. The old man gasped, rubbing his eyes in disbelief. Was he dreaming? Panicked but still calm, he called for his neighbors. Together, they gently captured the energetic creature and placed it inside a wooden chest. The old man scratched his head and said, "What in the world do we do now?" After a long discussion, they decided the creature was too strange to keep. They would sell it. The old man called a local merchant named Jimu, known for his curiosity and clever mind. He explained everything, pointing at the locked chest. Jimu raised his eyebrows in interest and bent down to unlock it. But when he lifted the lid, there was nothing inside but the same old iron teapot. Confused but intrigued, Jimu agreed to buy it anyway, thinking perhaps the old man had simply imagined the story. He paid a few coins, took the teapot, and carried it back to his shop in the nearby village. Yet, as he walked, he noticed something strange. The teapot grew heavier and heavier, as if it was hiding a secret. Finally home, Jimu placed the teapot in a quiet corner of his room and went to bed. But his sleep didn't last long. In the middle of the night, a thumping sound echoed through the room. Thump, thump, thump. Jimu opened his eyes and sat up. He lit a lamp and looked around. The teapot was gone. Just as he started to wonder if he was dreaming, he heard another sound, scratching, tapping, a soft scurrying across the floor. Turning around, he saw it. The teapot had transformed once again into a tanuki. The creature was chasing its own tail, spinning in circles and knocking over books and pillows like a whirlwind of mischief. Jimu's eyes widened in shock. He didn't know whether to scream or laugh. He backed away slowly and whispered, "What are you?" But the tanuki simply giggled, rolled onto its back, and disappeared behind a curtain. By sunrise, the creature was gone, and the teapot sat silently in the corner once more. Jimu hurried to tell his neighbor what had happened. He expected disbelief, but the neighbor smiled knowingly. "You found something rare," he said. "If you show people what this teapot can do, they'll pay to see it. You might become the most famous man in the land." Inspired by the idea, Jimu built a small wooden stage in the town square and placed the teapot at the center. He hung a large banner that read, "Come and see the magical teapot that dances." Soon, curious villagers arrived with their children. They crowded around the stage, whispering and pointing. Jimu stood proudly and lifted the teapot high. At first, nothing happened. People began to murmur and turn away. But then, Jimmu clapped his hands and softly whispered, "Now, little friend, it's time." The teapot shivered, wobbled, and suddenly burst into transformation. Before everyone's eyes, it turned into the playful tanuki once again. The crowd gasped. The creature wagged its tail, spun in a circle, and began to dance. Laughter filled the air. The children clapped and twirled, following the tanuki's joyful movements. The adults smiled, their hearts warmed by the strange and magical scene. The tanuki performed tricks, balanced on one paw, and even bowed at the end of its performance. From that day on, Jimmu's Teapot Show became the most popular attraction in the land. People traveled from distant villages to see the dancing tanuki. Jimmu became wealthy and well-known, but he never forgot the old man from the mountains who had found the teapot first. One day, he returned to the small wooden cabin with a pouch of golden coins. He knocked gently on the door. The old man opened it and smiled, surprised to see him. "This is yours," said Jimmu, placing the pouch on the table. "The teapot belongs to you. I was only its keeper." The old man's eyes softened. "Thank you, Jimmu," he replied. "Not for the gold, but for your honesty." From that day forward, the old man and Jimmu remained good friends. The tanuki stayed with them both, dancing in the sunlight and curling up beside the fire at night. The little creature brought joy and laughter wherever it went. And so, they lived the rest of their lives with kindness in their hearts, magic in their days, and smiles on their faces. Moral of the story: always be kind and honest. Good things will follow.